Hi, welcome everyone. Welcome to Own Your Frequency, season 2. Yes, it is the first season or first show of the first season of the first show of the second season, sorry. And I am so blessed and excited to welcome my very best friend on the show this week. And so it's such a privilege. Anne and I have been best friends since the university. It's been we keep having such parallels in our life. It's fascinating. And actually, as we discover more of our archetypes, it makes sense because we have very similar archetypes, but that's next month's talk. So this week, Anne is here to talk to us about the brain and how the brain works and how to create a reset of your mindset. And Anne has been a leadership and empowerment coach for a few years now after her beautiful career in more corporate world. And she's gonna tell us all about that. So without further ado, I'm so happy to welcome you, Anne Edart, to Own Your Frequency. Welcome.
Thank you, my dear. It's a pleasure to be here. I have to say it's a real honor. So thank you very much. So how could I start? Yeah, we know each other for a long time. We are engineers, both of us. I spent more than 10 years as a manager in supply chain management, in corporate, in very big companies. Everything was fine on the paper. I ticked all the box, the good job, the good career, 2 kids and everything. And then suddenly everything falls apart. Like, life is amazing, but I don't feel fulfilled. Something is missing. And I mean, 2 years ago, it's around 2 years ago, I actually started to deep dive into exactly, how come that everything I did in my life seemed okay, and then suddenly I don't feel happy. What is happy, by the way? So I had a deep dive. I stopped, I changed, I reconnected to myself. I started to study coaching, so I became a professional coach. I became a hypnotherapist. And I actually kind of understood exactly why I was not happy. Why actually my brain, my mind had led me to this path, which was not actually the one that was right for me. And that's exactly, what I'm doing here, trying to share this, all those learnings with you today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. I think it's for a lot of us, and we've been, taking the steps already. So I think for a lot of us, that's what happened in the past. Like we were in our corporate jobs or whatever, regular 9 to 5, work for somebody else, be a slave of the system. And, we had to say enough. And so congratulations on saying you're enough, because you're going to be able to, lead other people into doing the same thing. And I can, as you were talking, I could really see how, we were the first wave, like, okay, it's because we have to be here to show the way. And so now you're ready to show people how you did it and, hopefully make it a bit easier, as we all learn and discover more of ourselves. It's also updating this beautiful universal grid. And so by just you having done it, you're making it easier for everybody. So thank you on the behalf of the planet.
Thank you. I'm just trying to do my work, my own piece, my own contribution. And I think, as you say, everybody's contribution is very important. And no matter if it's big or small, I think everything we live, our life is a contribution to the world. So we should not underestimate our impact. So what you do as well in sharing all this, you know, to the world, I think is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's a great start. Do you want to take us maybe into one of those we were calling them rules before the show, and then just before the show we're like, no, they're not rules, so I'm not sure how to call them anymore, but those ways of the brain.
Yeah, let's call them strategies, let's say. Yeah, I'll go explain you why I call them strategies. I will try to find something, you know, like a metaphor that can be useful. Imagine that you have a smoothie machine. You have one, I guess. No, you do.
Used to, but yeah.
Okay. So imagine that your brain, your mind, you know, is this movie machine. And then you, with your emotion, your life, your memories, you know, everything that is in your mind, actually, your mind are the fruits. So the brain is the machine, your mind, with everything that is making you, are the fruits. So you put you in this kind of machine, and then you are supposed, you know, you expect to find this movie you're waiting for. Like, okay, I would like a strawberries movie. So I'm going to kind of put, you know, the strawberry piece of mind into this movie, into the machine to get a strawberries movie. And actually, it's not exactly what we get. You know, I think we spend our life thinking that because we would like a strawberries movie, we're going to get a strawberries movie. But as you know, I guess, life is full of disappointment, of surprise, like, why don't I get what I expect? Why don't I get what I want? I think that's a crucial question. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to help you understanding why we don't get. Let's imagine, I'm going to take another metaphor in case. You are looking for a job, and you know, the people that get the job, there is a pile of resume, you know, and your resume is on the bottom of the list. So you're going to try to do everything you can to put it on the top of the list. So when your resume is on the top of the list, you think, okay, I'm fine. I put the priority, everything is okay. The person is going to check, you know, the resume, and I'm going to get picked. And actually, the brain is the picker, and the brain is not going to take the top of the list. The brain is going to take whatever it wants. Maybe it's the last one, maybe it's the middle one. It doesn't care, because it's got its own rules. It's all strategies of prioritization. And why it's so important to understand them? Because if we don't understand them, well, we get to be disappointed. We are targeting things, we want things, we have wishes, we have a pile of wishes, you know, things we want. I would like to do that, this, that. My priority in life is this. And somehow your brain is not going to use your priority. It's going to use different priorities. You're going to ask me maybe, why is that? Because our brain has a job. Do you know what is the first priority of our brain? Maybe you know. What is this most important job? Have a guess.
I'll translate the outside information that we picked so that it makes sense to it.
That's one of his job. He has a lot of things to do. So obviously this is one of them. But the most important things, the first strategy, is a survival strategy. Our brain has one mission, is to make us alive, to make us survive. Remember when we were with a mammoth and we have to fight, you know, to get food. We were hunters and fruit eaters. We had to survive. There was no actually other choices. So our brain understood from, you know, the beginning of the human race that what is most important is to make us survive. So when we were surrounded by lots of dangers, that was fair to do. today we could think, I'm in my house in a country where it's safe. We are not surrounded by so many dangers, but still his role is to, protect us. So what is he protecting us against? That's the question. What are the threats today that are threatening our survival? We have a lot. We have absolutely a lot. But if we don't know them, then we can't understand why how our brain is going to work. I'm going to give you an example. And let's see. Go ahead.
No, I love that. And I love your smoothie analogy. That's very, yeah, but you can really picture it. And yeah, I can see how that, coupled with the fact that, it's seeing the fruit, whatever your fruit you've picked, it's seeing it through the lens of survival, right? So if your fruit was a survival fruit, then you probably get close to what you wanted.
Well, right? That's a good guess, but it's not even that. That's too easy. That's too easy for the brain. The brain, the brain is like, it would be too easy. I mean, because if we would, and I'm teasing you there because you're right. I mean, but the thing is that there are so many different strategies, that comes together, that this, what you say, could be absolutely fair, but because there are other strategies coming inside, we can't get exactly. So that's the thing. To be able to get the strawberries movie, it's not just about finding the strawberry. We need to pick the strawberry, but we need to trick the machine to make sure that, the strawberry is going to go in a certain circuits. So we get the strawberries movie. And that's the thing. And it's kind of the techie thing. That's why I'm not going to go into all the rules. It's a bit complex. That's the part of the program. But I can explain you with some very simple examples how it works. Okay?
Beautiful. Yes.
So let me find something. Let's say that I want to lose some weight. Okay? Or I would like to get another job. What kind of example suits you well?
Get another job. I feel like a lot of people can relate to.
Okay.
Getting another job.
So imagine I'm a mother of two, I have my career, I'm offered a promotion, or there is an advertisement for a promotion or a new job in my company. I really want that job. I want to get more money. I want to get, more responsibilities. I want to get that job. So in my mind, my priority is I want to get that job. That's crystal clear. But then my brain is working with two important things. And one of them is the emotion. And my brain, I'm going to sit like I'm the brain and I'm like, okay, okay, you pretend you want that job, but I know better. I know better. I know what you really, really want. It's not that job. You want to spend time with your kids. You want to have quality time with your kids. You don't want to get to work trip, twice a week or twice a month. I know that because I know you better. You're unconscious. Your brain knows you better. And how we can actually assess that is with the emotion. When you think of that job, like you think with your mind. So you disconnect from your heart. So when you think, okay, I want that job, that's logic. I want that job because I'm going to get more money, because I'm going to get more responsibilities. It's not your heart that is talking there. It's your mind. Your mind saying it's logical. The logic is to get that job. But when we ask your heart is saying, yeah, I like to get that job, but it's true, I'm not going to see my kids that much, but still, priority is the job. That's your mind's priority, but your heart priority is there. At the end of the day, my family is more important. So I feel guilty because I'm not going to spend that much. So I feel guilt because really I want to spend, time with them. And I want that job. Yes, I need that job. It's not the same. I need that job. I don't want that job. So our brain is going to do, and that's the first important strategy. Your mind, your brain is always going to do what it thinks you want, but you truly want. So because he knows, he thinks you truly want to stay with your kids, then it's going to sabotage. That's how we say in English, yes, sabotage. He's going to do everything he can to mess up with this interview. So maybe you're going to forget the exact timing. Maybe you're going to lose your voice the day before. How funny is that? Maybe you're going to get sick. Or maybe you're going to say something that you wouldn't have said during the interview, whatever. But your brain is going to try to protect you because it knows what you want, and your survival is not the job. Your survival is where the emotion is the strongest. So that's the way it works.
Fascinating. But I'm trying to connect the dot with like what I know from coaching and and weaving it back together. And so your brain, it's both because I was trying to see if it's your ego or your unconscious, but not, it's
the unconscious. It's the unconscious, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so because I see like in, when we do like shadow work in the coaching world, so like in your example, it was a positive thing, like wanting to be with your kids. And so, technically in your example, that would be more considered the positive sabotage because...
Unless you really wanted that job. I mean, you really needed that job.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, then there... another work around the need probably to do.
Let me give you another example. The one I really live, that is true of my story. When I was in my corporate world as a manager, they offered me, a certification, supply chain certification. I did work hard because it was a good opportunity, to get some some more money, some more recognition. I worked very hard because, I mean, whenever you try to attempt, the exam, you had to pay 500 crowns or something. It was $500. It was very expensive, So if I failed, I was losing $500. So I had to work a lot. So I worked a lot. I didn't feel confident, but I worked. And it was the next day I had the examination. So I went to sleep. I thought, okay, I felt kind of happy. I'm satisfied. I work a lot. Whatever happened, I'm going to do it. During the night, I got completely sick. I vomited. I threw up, and I was bad. In the morning. I couldn't get out of the bed. So I was really worried, like I'm going to lose, the money, I'm going to lose. So I called and I said, okay, if you can get, a word from the doctor or something, it's going to be reimbursed. And then I had a friend, because it was a long time ago. I have a friend, she was a psychotherapist. And she told me, did you really want to do that exam? And I said, yeah, of course, like, it's not like I had a choice. I had, to have it. But then actually my brain knew that inside me, I was feeling fear, I was really fearing to fail. So my brain, my unconscious, was trying to protect me from fear, His job, and it's the second rule I'm giving you there, his job is to getting me away from the fear and going me closer to pleasure and love. It's binary. So every time, I was really fearing fear inside, it was just trying to protect me. So you may think, okay, it's positive somehow, yes, but at the same time, it was kind of, disturbing my work, and I was feeling guilty, like I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But what he was really doing, it was trying to protect me from fear, from failing, from feeling ridiculous, from the failure.
Yeah, I love that. I know that. And I remember
Yeah, you know, I wasn't feeling great, you know, when it happened, like, oh Jesus. So, but you know, getting to know that when you get to understand how it's work, that's where actually you can actually interrupt the sabotage. You know, you can interrupt the work. You can actually redirect the work of your subconscious. I mean, the part of the program I'm going to present is exactly giving you the keys, like how to reset your mind to make sure that, you know, you get your strawberries movie because you want a strawberries movie. So that's exactly what I'm trying to share, because I mean, how do you want to control? It's like, you know, how can you control the temperature in the room if you don't have an idea of how the machine, the heating machine is working? It's the same.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's reminding me of this process. I can't put, it has a name, I don't remember, but where you visualize, it's all based on the whole, your brain is running away from pain and going towards pleasure. So you visualize like something you'd want, adding all those pleasure and all those, all like the pleasure to the brain, so that the brain learns like that's where it wants to go.
Yes, exactly. And just to give a bit another layer is that on top of that, because again, you know, our unconscious is very complex. On top of that, our unconscious have some programs and some rules that have been set up when we were kids, you know, following our experiences and everything. And those rules always take the priority. So everything that actually we are doing today is just a repetition of the rules that we have set up. And I know you know that pretty well. We set up a long time ago. So in order to change something, you need to make sure you trick the machine, but you need to make sure you change the program that is linked to the circuits. That's why it gets interesting.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And I think that's why I was a bit tricked on the unconscious and the ego, because it's like, but it's also two and the same, but yeah, because the whole, well, it's a mix. It's like the unconscious is also like your fruits from your childhood that are still in the machine.
Exact.
And then you have the machine that's interpreting this fruit into XXX. And for, you know, the machine can be more ego-like or more divine-like, depending on the tweaks. That'd be a good summary.
You did something, very, very good about the fruits that are already in the machine, like, you know, everything that comes from our childhood and everything, all those programming. That's exactly good, very good image, because you're right. There are a lot of fruits already in the machine we don't know. That's why sometimes it's not even fruits, it's whatever. That's why this movie is, you know, can be really disgusting. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But yeah, that's exactly that. I mean, it's really a mix between the brain, which is kind of a machine, and neurosciences actually show exactly how it works. Kind of, you get to understand it's binary, it works that way. So it has strategies. That's what I'm teaching. And at the same time, as you say, you have to take into consideration that you have the machine, but you have as well everything that comes in within the machine, like those fruits that are already there, the programming that we have since our childhood. Why is that? Why, you know, we are still run by a program from our childhoods? That's something very, very key as well to understand. Because once you understand that, then you can understand why you're repeating the same thing, why your brain is going to give the priority to that kind of behavior that you can't stand, and things like this.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted because I'm getting a text from you right now. I know there's some magical thing happening.
Really?
I'm like, really?
What does that say?
Well, I guess it just arrived, but it was a previous text. Okay, I'm like, what's happening? Possible. My brain is not comprehending.
Yeah, time doesn't exist, but I guess that's for another show. So yeah.
Well, I love it. I love it, and and because in the coaching world, we do tend to, I mean, we do a lot of shadow work and all that stuff, and I can see how combining that with the knowledge of how your brain function can really, exponentialize things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speed them up. Yeah. And speed them up, because the time you try to understand how it works, your life is almost over. Like, oh, I wish I knew that before. Yes, we all wished. So thanks. I mean, I didn't guess that, it's thanks to my mentor, to the people I work with. I gathered kind of, I took, the best of everything I learned, trying to put into a very pragmatic approach. What I'm teaching today is exactly what I would have liked, to know when back 5 years ago, when I was not happy in my life, or when I was happy but not so fulfilled. I wish I knew, why I had taken that choice. I wish I knew why I was doing that kind of study, that kind of work. I wish I could have explained that. It took me years to understand, and I really want to give a shortcut to people, like, get the keys today and really save you years, and go directly to get the nice smoothie you deserve.
Yes. Yes. Tropical fruit smoothies, and not shit smoothie. Awesome. So this month we're trying something new, and so we've obviously pre-recorded, or we're recording now, but that's gonna be pre-recorded for you. That's the funny thing with time. It's it's always changing. So we're doing it as a pre-recorded this month, and then in a couple weeks we'll have a Q&A with Anne. So if you want to ask her questions about how this works, and or get mini coaching, live right there, and where she can look at how your brain works and give you some tips on, just explain whatever's going on, and then she'll pick out what's going on in your brain and explain it to you, and ta-da.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and there is a bit as well that is very interesting. I didn't mention, is the inner child, because the inner child is something that we use in different ways, the shadow work, whatever, but it's part of that work as well. So I'm actually working on that, and that can be something that we could be discussing during the Q&A, or during the live sessions, if someone is interested.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, because we do a lot of inner child work for sure, and I really get the intuition on how that's like perfectly marrying. It's both like what you're gonna offer can either be, or what you are offering can either be used by people who are in the corporate world, who are, who don't know nothing about coaching, about transformation, about, and just use it as that's how my brain works, and I'm sure change a whole lot of things just by doing that. And then, we have a whole group of coaches here, and I can really see how that's, helping not only as a coach, to design different tools, and also obviously, to be aware, because just by being aware of it, which is a big key in the whole coaching, most of it comes from our awareness. Once we're aware of something, changing it is not the hard part. The hardest part is being aware of it. So I can really see how that can help anyone's awareness to identify, whatever's going on in there.
Yeah. it definitely can help the coaches, for example, to use that for their own clients, you know, from their own person and their own clients, to explain them that to them, and for their personal work. You know, I know those rules, but I use them every day. Every day I get across something in my life like, I knew that. I know. Okay, I know what I need to do. So I've got the keys, but it's not something like, you know, I've been a coach, I'm a therapist, I've got a lot of keys, but still I use those, this knowledge every single day. So it's really like a basic 101, that will really serve you all your life. And for your kids, I have to say that because I'm a mother, and I think we have a deep responsibility, you know, in elevating, you know, the next generation. And it's really something that is very important. It's really good for us to share that with our kids. You know, they are very clever, and they can understand very, you know, easily those little strategies of the mind, and you can actually use that with your kids as well. That's what I'm trying to explain with my kids, and they're 6 and 4, and they can't get everything, but they still, you know, we start to get some of them, and it's kind of a game.
And what a difference that's gonna create in the world. I'm getting chills, like, by, you know, having not only aware kids, but like kids that know how your brain works. Like, oh my God, if we had learned that like when we were kids, you know,
Yeah.
like life would be so different. And so that's the next generation.
And as a mother, you know, I'm glad I know that, because I know the mistakes I've done, you know, before knowing that, and we do all mistakes. But now I know that I've got some keys to be a. It's not to be a better mother. It's just to be a more conscious mother, being more conscious about my my influence in, you know, the how my kid is going to grow, and I think that's very important as well.
Yeah. Do you have an example that you could use to show, like, in the kids, like how you can use that with kids specifically?
Yeah, I remember that when my kid was 2, I think my son was 2 years old. It was a work that I did on me, you know. Whenever, you know, he was telling me no, or he wouldn't get his shoes, I was getting crazy, like, you know, I said, come here, I told you 5 minutes, just go and, you know, come and do it. And at some point, it made me realize, why are you getting, you know, upset? Why are you getting triggered? And then I realized 2 things. So the first thing is that it made me realize that, okay, I've got a trigger that is linked to my own childhood, you know, the inner child, and I need to work on that. So I need that work. I did that work. So first of all, I kind of heal myself, part of myself, which was good. And when you heal yourself, you don't, you know, project it anymore. And then I kind of understood, you know, the impact of what I was doing on my kids. You know, the pressure, the image, you know, I was thinking, Jesus, when I do that, I'm teaching him that he has actually no sense of freedom. I was not letting him, you know, even if he was 2, I was actually not letting himself showing his true self. Like, you know, I was forcing him to do something. I was not listening. I was not waiting. And we know we have no time. Yes, we never have time anyway in the morning. But the way I was doing, I was thinking, you know, you are just teaching your kid just to obey to you. And it's going to grow with the program like, okay, the adults, you know, whatever the adults is saying is more important. And whenever someone is shouting, I just need to do it. Whatever. I have no choice. And this little program is entering in his brain. And, you know, if it stops and it never comes back, okay, it's just a program that will have no priority. But if it's something that happens regularly, often, every day, then the program is getting bigger, 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 and is going on top of the priority. And then what happens is that, as I've been raised myself, you grow up, and then you get shy, or you get like when someone is telling you, is using authority on you, then you just do it because your program is have been raised like that. And sometimes it's not fair, you don't want to follow that, but it's stronger than you. So it's just to show you how deep it can be. Don't know if it was answering your question, but it's an example.
Yeah, it's a good one. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, as a mother, and that's funny because that's some of the things I've been actually, come on, listen to me.
I mean, if you, sorry, go ahead.
How did you shift it around, actually? How did you?
And that's the thing. Well, I used the rules of the mind, which is the pleasure. You know, I was inflicting pain. There was no way I was going to do what I was saying. So I was just doing that to make it pleasurable, like a game. If you put your shoes in 30 seconds, we're going to play something or we're going to do something, you know? You have to play with the mind, like, okay, it needs to be fun. If it's not fun, there is no way the kid is going to do that. So it's the same, like, you know, my little daughter, she didn't, I got her in the school, you know, in the dance school. She was happy first, but when we arrived, she said, oh, I don't want to go to the dance school. Okay, I had to find something, you know, like, what is the strategy I'm going to use? And I was thinking back, okay, don't forget, his brain needs fun, needs pleasure. And he likes to get récompense. How do we say that in English?
A reward.
Reward. He likes reward. So I say, okay, you know, once it's over, we're going to go to the shop and we're going to buy you a very nice dance, you know, very nice dress, a dance dress. Okay, that's so fun. Let's go. She was so happy. If I was just forcing, like, oh, you have to do, I paid for that, it would have been, you know, a full mess. You know, it's just, yeah. For the kids, it's easy. It's joy, pleasure. Find something that makes them, you know, happy. It's just one basic rule, but that works well.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, because anyways, it doesn't work the other way around. I mean, it's, you know, it's just coming up. She's just 2.5, so we're just, you know, getting to the nose and then not listening, and but yeah, it's been a bit triggering for mama.
Yeah, one good tool for that for you is that give them choice, like, you know, make them believe they have the choice. Like, I don't want to wear, it works with my kids, I don't want to wear a dress. Okay, do you prefer a pink dress or you prefer a black dress? They have a choice to make. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get a pink dress. They forgot if you don't want to wear a dress, you know. So it's kind of when they're two, it's kind of easy, easy to lose control. We know what it is.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. That was great examples that we can use in our life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And I've got a lot more for you during the program.
Yeah. So do you want to share a little bit about the program itself?
Yeah. So during the program, I'm going to introduce different things from, you know, the lens of the neuroscience, how the brain is working. What are the strategies, you know, I talked about. So those strategies. Then we're going to talk about the unconscious. It's going to be a more psychological part. We're going to talk about the inner child. We're going to talk about, you know, those fruits that were in the machine, like, well, you know, the program that we inherited from the childhood. And then we're going to go to, okay, with all those strategies, with all those rules, with all the things that, you know, we got in our life that are on our way to where we want to be, how we do reprogram, so how we do reset the mindset. So we're going to go exactly how to do that. So we're going to have some hypnotherapy. I'm going to have a recording, hypnotherapy recording, transformation recording as well, included in that. So we can actually rewire the brain with the hypnotherapy. Sorry. So a lot of different things, but it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Yay. I love it. And so it's a 4-week program, right?
Yeah.
4 weeks. Are you doing it live and people can join live, or is it like pre-recorded?
I think that we're going to have to find out with the timing, because we just need to make sure, the agenda is working. If we can do live, we do live. Maybe sometime it's going to be live. Maybe sometime it's going to be recorded. I wish I could do, live every time. I'm not sure if it's possible. So we'll do the best out of it.
Awesome. So I see, I kind of tricked her because I didn't know either. We had been back and forth. So sorry to put you on the spot live.
Don't worry.
And you did great. So maybe it's going to be a little combination like we're doing this time of pre-recorded and live.
Yeah, let's get creative.
Yes, we are working with the universe and the universe is working with us, and like the universe made it exactly so I'd have a break in 2 weeks so we could do our live because I'm doing my own training in a couple of weeks in Florida. So anyways, it's lining up perfectly so we can meet again in a couple of weeks. So if you want to join us, I mean, of course, we'll have all the information in the email. But also, if you want to ask questions to Anne but cannot make it live, feel free to just reply to my email and put your question in there, and I make sure I ask Anne. And yeah, so that's going to be, sorry, I should give you a date probably. Yes, so this would be on Wednesday, the 20th of October. And so we're also shooting for our regular 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, which is 9 p.m. for Anne. So she is actually, doing us a big favor and working late once the kids are hopefully asleep. And, we're all understanding. Most of us are mamas too, so we know, it's, we know it's will be divinely guided and source has our backs. And kids are always kids.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Anne. Do you have any last words before we go for today?
I guess thank you, Evie. Thank you, everyone. I just wish to see you all in the next session, because it's such, I'm in love with this subject, because it's really life changing. So if it's time for you, if you feel it's time for you to change something in your life, then you may come and get some benefit out of it. So that's it.
Thank you. So beautiful. And I know everybody can see the love and the passion and the excitement radiating from you. Such a pleasure to see you in your mama, powerful, empowered self. So she has a group that's called Femme Illimitee. It's beautiful in French, right? Which means unlimited woman, like, it's not even unlimited. Well, it's unlimited, but it's, women with no limits would be a better traduction.
Yeah. I can say something on that is good, because sometimes people say, oh, with no limit, we all have limits. The unlimited woman, or the woman with no limits, she has limits, but she defines herself a limit. She doesn't let anyone define what are her limits. She defines the limits herself. And that's, how we change life, how we change the world. We don't get to be told what are our limits. We define them ourselves.
Beautiful. I love it. That's a beautiful last word. So thanks again. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we hope to see you in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, and next month, I'll be doing a class on the gene keys. I can't wait to talk about it. It's like even better than astrology. It just fell into my laps, 3 weeks ago? I don't know. It seems like it's my life now, but, and I'm shaking her head because we've done both our profiles. It's super right on. And we can see not only, we can see our childhood wounds, we can see our career path, we can see how we're good at selling our products or whatever we do. It's so fascinating. And I feel I've been guided to it too, because that's the best part. You can track your fractal line. So you can track your tribe and you can figure out who's in your fractal line, and Anne and I are like perfect fractal sister. Like we have both the intuitive and the grid workers, which are like two of the main archetypes within our career sequence, which I'm probably starting not to make sense, but it's right on, and I can feel how this group, this tribe of Own Your Freck, it's like what I want to do for next month is I want all of you to do your grids, your graph, and send it to me. And I'm pretty damn sure we're going to find the grid worker and the intuitive in every single one of us. And I have this intuition that it's the signature of our particular fractal line. Oh, I'm getting chills all over. And so I don't really know where we're going with that, but you know, let's bring the tribe together. And yeah, part of my role I've discovered is to be like the director of a movie and to kind of like, oh, so you do that, so you're best here, and you can work with them and you can work with them, and like build this whole beautiful space where we can all shine and yeah, be ourselves. Just like what Anne did today, and it rocked. And why did it rock? Because she spoke from her heart and she just was herself. And it was beautiful. And so thank you again. Thank you, Anne. And that's something that I truly wish for each and every one of you. So with that, I love you all. And we will see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, remember, Own Your Freck or your freak. Both are wonderful. Bye now.
Bye.